Hello, my name is Bruce Sawalski. I'm author of Canadian Wilderness Survival and chief instructor of the Boreal Wilderness Institute. And today, I want to add to our Focus on Survival Gear series by talking about insulated mattresses. Now, technically, critical item number 13 of my list of critical items says it's a mattress, but really it's an insulative mattress. In other words, if it doesn't provide insulation, then it's worthless. So when we're dealing with that, and in the book it does a really good job of comparing and looking at the insulation, we can insulate it with Insulate like this. We could have a Thermarest type self-inflated foam mattress, and that will provide it. We could build a bow bed. But something like an air mattress is totally worthless because it keeps you off the ground, it keeps you from being wet, but it has no insulative value. Or maybe I should rephrase that, it has the same insulative value as the ground, right, which isn't much. Now, a couple of things. This is Insulated. It's closed cell foam. It's one of the more innovative kind of mattresses. So originally we had open cell foam. So open cell foam like you'd have on a mattress on a bed. No one takes open cell foam as a mattress without a cover for it anymore. And I'll talk about that in a second. But any mattress, if I want to double the weight, or double the insulation value, that does not double it. That adds only 50%. If I want to double the weight, I have to have 3 layers. That would be that in. So 2 layers or double will add it. And that gets you sort of to the princess and the pea theory that you're just going to keep mattressing after mattresses after mattresses. Because if your mattress isn't good enough and you want to double the insulative value of the mattress, you need to add 2 more mattresses. And then 4 more mattresses, right? And this is going to be really, really bad. But here's the thing to think about. One of the weakest parts of our sleep system. Now, this is when we go back to winter camping and snowshoeing and skiing, off in cold weather. What we do is we take what we bring in summer, i.e. the mattress. So I take my Insulate mattress from summer, or I take my lightweight my light self-inflating mattress like this, which is not really a Thermarest, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then we double the sleeping bag because we go, oh, well, my sleeping bag is only comfort rated to 0 degrees. And it's going to be like 25 below tonight. So I get one comfort rated to 25 below. And suddenly I go from this much sleeping bag to that much sleeping bag. Okay, great. But then we don't double the mattress. In other words, we say, oh, this little thin Thermarest or Insulate is not good enough or not going to be good enough. Well, of course it's not going to be good enough. There's no way. And so what happens is if you have a weak mattress, you roll around on the mattress because you're not comfortable. The sleeping bag does not provide any insulation on the ground. If you had a layer of fleece, like a fleece liner or something, you could have a little teeny bit, but that'd be it. But the sleeping bag itself doesn't. Now, the sleeping bag is more efficient than, let's say, a blanket, just throwing a blanket over, because it seals the edges and sides and allows you to roll around a bit. Well, that's good. But the mattress, as the insulative mattress, is what does the trick. So what options do we have? Well, let me go back to that. I have a lightweight Insulate like this. If this was a full pad, you'll notice that insulation is twice as thick. Strangely enough, that means this Insulate pad will be twice as warm. Now, this is just a sitting pad. I understand that. But that's the ideal. If you look at the thickness of it, it's twice as warm. So if I had a full-size Insulate like this compared to that, it's going to make a big difference. We can also go to self-inflating mattresses. Now, when we talk about that, the first one we should talk about is the true Thermarest. And this is an old Thermarest. This is one of the first ones they had. And what they did was they very innovatively put open cell foam inside a sleeve of plastic that was 100% waterproof, i.e. waterproof, therefore it would stop the air. And then they put a cap in, and you can hear there's a little bit of air coming in because as I open this up, this starts to inflate. If I blow it up, it will blow it up and fill it up. If I blow it up to full and or leave it for half an hour to do that, which I'm not going to do in this video, it will inflate and therefore give me dead airspace. Because what will happen is the foam spreads out, but it's got bubbles and the air doesn't move around enough to allow you to warm that up. And then as you put pressure on it or weight, it doesn't go all the way down. So that's why it actually works. The only thing that keeps you warm is dead air space. That's what it's going to be. This mattress has a lot more dead air space than this mattress. Why? Because it's twice as thick. You look at its thickness, you're going, yeah, but that's a full-length mattress with, in this original Thermarest, complete foam. So what happened? Most of us don't camp at 25 below, where this mattress makes a difference, right? Or where I have to double these up, which I would do in the Arctic. That was a common thing of mine. I take two mattresses, right? Either thick or thin Insulate and a Thermarest, right? And I double them up. So what happens was we kept saying we want lighter and lighter and lighter insulated mattresses. So there we get to this. And you can almost see the pattern in it. And you go, well, Bruce, that's got kind of a weird pattern. You know what they did? Imagine a set of foam. They punch holes through the foam. And so therefore, there's only half as much foam in this self-inflating mattress that I got at MUC compared to a standard one. And that's the standard way they lighten up. So what's the problem with that? Well, guess what? Not as much foam, not as much warmth. So in summer, this one works fantastic. And it races into a little pad-up thing about this big. So it's really nice. It's lightweight. I drop it in my pack. The mattress is no big deal, and I can always have it. But what's the problem? It doesn't have the warmth that this one has. So what can you do? Well, I could take this and double it up with a thick Insulate, like as in a full-size pad on that. Just like I would often in the old days take my Thermarest and double it up with a thin Insulate. What I probably don't want to do is take a thin Insulate and go with that, right? Because that might not be good enough. Or if I'm outside a national park and I can do it, or I'm stranded somewhere, I might build a bow bed, right? And I take this and put it on top of my bow bed, and then I take this and put it right on top. And if I have 3 layers, and even if it was a crappy bow bed, not like a full 4-finger bow bed, it'd actually make a difference. So just a light layer of bows, followed by a piece of foam, followed by an Insulate or a self-inflating mattress, and make a big difference. I could even sleep on my sitting pad or on the back of a backpack, right? Because most internal frame backpacks are made of foam. That's what's on your back. So you can sleep on that as well. Anything you can use to put between you and the ground is going to make a big difference. The ground has no warmth. Well, it has very little warmth. So you need to get yourself between you and the ground. And all the material that I can put there is going to make a big difference. Boughs, of course, is one of those things that work really, really good, but dry grass and various other things can be put between you and the ground as a way of trying to give you some basic insulation. Now, dry grass is not going to have a lot of what? Dead air space. Evergreen boughs, as long as they're 4-finger thick, will be as good as this full Thermarest. It will, a 4-finger bow bed will be better than this. Of course, if I had this on top of my 4-finger bow bed, that's going to be a bonus. As long as I build my bow bed correctly, because I once got a hole in one of these mattresses on a bow bed because I was silly and I was in a really hurry and I didn't do my job of working that out. So you build it right, you won't have those problems. Is an insulated mattress an important thing? Yeah. I think of an insulated mattress as one of those critical items. It's critical item number 13. And where does it fit in? It fits in with our excellent for complications. So if there's a complication and I have a sleeping bag and then I have a mattress, I can simply sleep. I don't even have to build a bow bed. If I can add it or supplement a bow bed, I can sleep really, really well. I can sleep good, and I use less wood. If I use less wood, I gain more calories. So as a survival item, yeah, it's good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's all great to say you can survive without a sleeping bag. Absolutely you can. But if you had 2 broken legs, I want you to explain to me how you're going to collect your wood. And you go, oh, well, I'm not going to. Right, so that's where a sleeping bag is in. It's for complications. That's where a mattress makes a difference. Even a sitting pad like this is better than nothing. And I can guarantee you, I probably had a sitting pad along most of these nights that it was 45 below. I had no sleeping bag. I pulled this out and slept on it. right? Because under my arse, it was kind of nice. Even on a bow bed, it makes a difference. And that's what you have to do. You got to think outside the box. You have to figure out what extra stuff you can have when we're talking about insulative mattresses. But remember, a good, high-quality insulative mattress is going to be an excellent bonus in a complicated situation. It also means a better night's sleep anytime you're out camping, anytime you're out in the wilderness, just enjoying yourself. Because there's no use bringing a sleeping bag rated to minus 25 if you don't have a mattress rated to minus 25. And that could mean, of course, 2 lighter mattresses, as long as they work. Now, is there anything else you can have? Yeah, there's down-filled ones. What's the only problem with down-filled ones? Just like this, when the air goes out of it, it's not going to be very good. Down-filled one is just going to collapse completely. This one still has a bit of foam in it, so it's going to have a bit of warmth left. That's where it's going to be. So there is some high-tech advantages. Is putting reflective material inside going to make any kind of real difference? No, sorry. That just doesn't have any physics behind it, or not enough to make a difference between the price. Maybe we'll define it that way. Can you just simply live off bow beds? Yeah, if you have evergreen, but you don't always have evergreen, right? So think about that. Remember, take a mattress. Take a winter mattress in winter, take a summer weight mattress in summer. Always take a little bit more than you need in the way of a mattress, and always be prepared to supplement your mattress. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned a little bit about insulative mattresses. And remember, an air mattress isn't an insulative mattress. It's of no value at all. If you like this useful life-saving survival knowledge you learned on this channel, then please support me by following me on YouTube, listening and liking other videos on this channel, and of course by following me at the Boreal Wilderness Institute on Facebook. Thank you, stay safe, and if you're stranded in the wilderness, just remember, stop and survive.